So Pat Robertson wants to talk to us about Ben Carson. Oh boy. Yay. Oh, the hits keep rolling. Here we go.
Unqualified. We have a president whose only qualification was he's a community organizer. He never held a job in the private sector, and he learned his organizing skills from a well-known radical.
Okay, Pat.
And so?
Okay, I'm pausing him this early on because fuck, he got it so wrong right off the start. Pat Robertson, I wanted to let you know that President Obama, prior to his career as the fucking 44th president of the United States, was a state senator.
He was a senator.
A U.S. senator. Not to mention the fact that he taught motherfucking constitutional law.
He's full on Juris Doctorate, wasn't he?
Constitutional lawyer.
So he was not just a community organizer. You fucking asshats on the right keep trying to just pile that in there. Oh, he's just a community organizer.
But a community organizer isn't like, oh my God, I plan potlucks, because, community organizer sounds like a female job, a woman job.
Oh, yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, that's what they're going for.
What they're going for, is that it sounds like a woman job.
Check your X chromosome at the door.
You know what?
Women.
It's actually a private sector job.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, you ever tried to organize a community? A hell of a lot harder than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
All right.
Who had a handbook for revolutionaries. He went to the Senate where he did, as far as I can tell, next to nothing. He made a tremendous speech in front of the Democrat convention.
Oh, man, it was a hell of a speech.
Catapulted him
far as I
into
can tell.
Presidency. That was it. And now we've got a man who is a brilliant neurosurgeon who knows intimately the problems of the inner cities.
He knows intimately the problems of the inner cities. Growing up in the suburbs.
Just because you're black does not mean you know the problems of the inner city. Just because you're black doesn't mean you know the problems of the inner city. One more time. Just because you're black doesn't mean you know the problems of the inner city. And Ben Carson does not know the problems of the inner city.
And I'm so goddamn tired of people putting surgeons up on some sort of fucking pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that smart.
They are brilliant for having well-working hands that are used to cut shit. They cut things out. They tie things together.
Strange running in the government.
No, look, and even Stephen Strange would be like, "Fuck no, I wouldn't want to do that." I mean, he didn't even want to be. He didn't even want to learn magic when he found out there was something tied to it. He's like, "Oh wait, I gotta." Oh.
Yeah. No. Sorry. Surgeons have made their way through medical school, and that's it. And that does not make them qualified or smart to do anything other than that.
Yeah, so if you're using education as a mark of intelligence, why is it that the old moniker of if you can't do, you teach, still prevalent? Because technically, if you go through that much school, you can do and you can teach. So surgeons are
but here's where it come down to, right? Like, surgeons don't do science, they just use science.
Exactly.
They just use the base things of it. They don't have to understand the inner workings of it. It's the same reason why nurses do Reiki. They've been educated in the facts of it, but not the actual method.
Good call.
Right.
I'm going to give you some essential oils so you heal better.
Right. No, surgeons are basically medical butchers.
Yeah, they really are.
They
have to know the roadmap.
They know where the pieces are.
Yeah.
Right. They know where the pieces are in order to manipulate a physical medium. That's it.
I've got some old Super Nintendo games and old Nintendo games that I'm a fucking surgeon at. I mean, I'd like to see Ben Carson pick up Ninja Gaiden 2 and try to get through that first fucking 3 levels without getting hit.
You know what, X? We'll talk as soon as Battletoads is beat. So you just take that.
Yeah. No,
Ben is good at memorizing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, sort of. Yeah.
Well, and also he just called him
he
just called him a brilliant neurosurgeon. Like, brilliant people don't leave sponges in other people.
He's not
mediocre
he's not
is the right word.
He's not brilliant. He was in the right place at the right time.
I don't think you
that was
guys
it.
are being very fair.
I discount this man because he has Jerry Curl Jesus in his house. That's why I discount this guy.
Let me.
I love it. I love it.
tell you why I am so brilliant, and why I.
Felicia, where's your luggage?
Oh, my luggage.
Oh,
Luggage.
my luggage.
Is well qualified to take care of
That's my
this.
favorite clip.
And when you get right down
Almost
to
as
it,
much.
HUD,
Go ahead.
The thing with HUD is that they loan a lot of money to people. They guarantee loans for folks to build housing projects, and what they do is pretty good. But you don't have to micromanage that one.
Pat, why don't you go live in the fucking projects then?
Pretty good. Pretty
What?
good. Yeah, pretty good.
The projects are pretty good. You know, every one of those
There's
rad fucking 1993 hip hop albums that came out from East Coast rappers, you know, growing up in the projects was super okay. It was all right. You know,
what we need to do is integrate low income housing within suburban neighborhoods.
Oh, people don't want that. They're all NIMBY about shit. Not in my backyard.
They are, but it doesn't matter because, like, if you and I used to live in an integrated low income housing apartment complex where not every apartment was low income. There was only specific ones, and you had to make a certain amount. And
you had to live amongst the poor. How dare they?
Yeah, it did not offend me. It really did not. It did not. Like, yeah, and it was actually really good for the entire community. I mean, people had a stable place. Their kids could go to higher income schools. They even though they paid lower tax because they didn't have to pay property tax
socialists
renting. But like the integration was good for the community, and that's the problem with the projects, right? Like they're just shoving a ton of people into very closed spaces, and that always breeds crime. It has nothing to do with the race of the people.
Nope.
Whenever you have
You want to know why there's so much crime in high population areas? Because it's a fucking high population area. That's
there's
why.
a lot of people in a small space.
It's seriously just competition for resources. It's basic needs stuff. It's competition for resources, and that's what it is. If we and we have the space and we have the homes for this, we could do this if we just integrated these low income people into higher income neighborhoods. One, they would do better overall because they had stable homes with the resources that they needed, right? With working fucking heaters and shit like that.
But Felicia, gentrification works so well. Why are you against that?
Let's let Pat finish. Come on, let's let Pat.
But if you have a concern about what part of the country needs help and where they could have some affordable housing, then Ben Carson's the man. But to say that he's not qualified compared to the... I mean, Bernie Sanders didn't take a paycheck. He was a bum. He didn't have any income at all. I think he was 30 years old. And then the only job he got was working for a city. And most of these Democrats have never been in the private sector in their lives.
I'm a Democrat.
Who you want doing that? That's exactly
and I've been in the private sector.
Me too.
And let me tell you what, the government doesn't run the same as the private sector. It can't.
No, it doesn't. And it shouldn't be. It should not run as a private sector.
No.
I've been in the private sector since I was 14 years old. I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
I just
Sanders
took a job in a private sector job.
Sanders was
completely different.
Mayor, a congressional representative, and a senator. Carson,
and also he did totally take an income. Well, no, he took odd jobs. He did basically did freelance for just random shit.
Yep. So this is us fact checking
jobs.
these fucking
He took
assholes.
an income. Yeah, he did. He took an income in the private sector, working as an individual. He probably missed some taxes on that shit. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
He was poor as shit though because he was an activist and he was working for activism and he was building up a credibility to run for political office. Bernie Sanders. Even people who wouldn't vote for Bernie Sanders go, no, he's a good guy. No, he's a good guy, though. Like, seriously, Bernie Sanders is a good fucking guy. No, and he is absolutely the person you would want to put in HUD.
In the White House.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Don't get me going.
No, sorry guys.
No. I love Bernie Sanders.
too soon.
I love Bernie Sanders and I love Hillary Clinton.
So Carson has not only had, absolutely zero experience in politics, he's also never run, as far as I know, any organization. Any.
No,
And we're talking about
that's not in his
housing
credentials.
and urban development, which is a massive fucking government branch organization, and it's important.
And
no
Holy
also not
shit,
just
it's
black
important.
people. Like Trump heard the word urban and he automatically
I got the
was
guy.
like, yeah,
Let's call
Uh,
casting. Let's get
yeah,
these persons
black
for the
guy.
role.
black people.
Black guy.
Black
Jeff
people.
comes back with
That's
his
not,
feel the
that's
burn.
not only what HUD does. Oh, wow.